Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. We're so pleased to have in the studio with us today our friends from Urban Core of San Diego County. Joining us is Kyle Kennedy. He is the CEO. How you doing, Kyle?
Doing great.
How long have you been with the organization?
Going on 8 years now.
8 years, very, very good. You're joined by your colleague, Teresa Leader-Anderson, marketing and communications guru for the organization. Teresa, 3 years you said you've been there, right?
3 years in August, and Guru, thank you very much.
That probably got you a little bit of a pay raise, I hope. So
we'll fingers crossed.
Kyle, what's the mission of the organization?
Our mission is to provide young adults with tools to expand their career opportunities through education, life skills, training, and paid work experience through benefits through products we do throughout the community.
Right now, do you work with kids that are still in high school, or are you working with folks that are out of high school and community college, or what's your clientele?
So we target adults, 18 to 26-year-olds,
Okay.
And typically we're looking for people who don't have their high school diploma.
Interesting.
So that's the kind of core of our program is people that either didn't finish high school or are new to this country, don't have their California high school diploma.
Right.
We have a program where they can work 4 days a week, so they can make money and be able to pay their bills and support their family. But then we also have a charter school that they can attend 1 day a week to get that high school diploma.
Right. And where's the charter school?
It's on site. It's a separate, actually, nonprofit, but it's we're fully integrated. We're
on site is where? Where is it located?
We our main campus is in Old Town, kind of sports arena area.
Right. So San Diego Unified, the district that you work with, or do you work with another district, or is it private?
We are in the Mono
office?
County district. We're a WASC accredited high school. So it's not a GED program. It's a real high school diploma.
Sure.
But yeah, we're accredited through out of the county.
Exactly. And Teresa, you've been there 3 years, right? Your role is just to push out information about what's going on at the school. You're in charge of development as well, raise money, do all of the above.
I help all of the above, but my job is to spread all the good news about all the great things that we do and all the wonderful things the core members do, because a lot of times we work with a lot of refugees that come in, and it's incredible just in the short time that they're learning the language, that we're able to help them get their driver's license. So we do a lot of really wonderful, uplifting things, and makes my job easy because then I can go out there and just spread the word about all the good work we do.
Right, exactly. How many students you work with annually?
Typically, we have about 230 to maybe 250 at any time.
Right.
It's always rotating. We're always bringing in people, and we have 2 graduations a year from our high school. That's typically, it could be 30 to 40 that'll graduate twice a year.
Right. So do you work with partners like the International Rescue Committee? Are you working with folks that are sort of in that space as well?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we're definitely a resource for them to place people. So it's all throughout the county.
Right, exactly. So how many different languages are spoken by the students that are there?
A lot. I mean, that's a big part of our program is helping them speak English. At one point, I think it was like 16 different languages.
Right. That is quite a chore. So the teachers you bring in, or the instructors, obviously they are trained in this language, whether it's Somalia or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, we. Yes, we have a lot of Afghani refugees, so
Right.
we're lucky to have a teacher who was from Afghanistan. So yes, and we have some from Africa, and then obviously they're trained to teach English. It doesn't matter what language they speak, and so we use hand signals and videos, and we get by with the communication.
What's interesting about the population you work with, and when we've talked to groups like Urban Core before, a lot of the people that you folks serve, didn't get much formal education in their country themselves, where they came from. Is that correct?
It depends. I mean, some of them speak. They might speak 5 languages.
Okay, right. So they've gone through any schooling in their places in Afghanistan.
Yeah. So they've been to school, and they come over here with their family, and they need that. They need to learn English, obviously.
Right.
So we're a great resource for that. But they get the high school diploma also to get promoted throughout any job that they have.
Sure, yeah. We're talking to Kyle Kennedy. He is the CEO of the Urban Core of San Diego County, joined by his colleague Teresa Leader-Anderson, marketing and communications. I gave her a new title, Guru, for Urban Core. I'm Drew Schlosberg. Listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast, now in our 18th year, brought to you by the very cool folks of Mission Fed Credit Union. For 6 decades. This organization has been doing great things to uplift San Diegans and organizations. You pick a topic, they're involved in it. It could be food insecurity, it could be art, it could be literacy, and everything in between. So we're just honored to be working with our friends at Mission Fed, and we're broadcasting from this very cool Mission Fed studios in Scripps Ranch. So Kyle, you have, how long does someone take to go through the program? Is it 2 years, 3 years, 4 years at their own pace?
It's up to them. I mean, if they come in and, maybe they dropped out of high school, 1 credit short, so they could just be there maybe 6 months. We're certified by the California Conservation Corps. Yeah, so we're a certified CCC. Corps. Part of that program is, they sign a 1-year contract essentially with us. So, we typically will keep them at least a year if they want. But, we have students who, start at 18 and, they might not graduate till they're 28,
Right. So talk about the jobs. Now, do you find them jobs, or do they come to you with jobs already?
No, we definitely help them with jobs. Right. We're a nonprofit, but 98% of our revenue comes from fee-for-service work that we're doing throughout the county, through state grants. We do a lot of work with the city. So, we're like I said, so we do fee-for-service work all throughout, and that really pays for everything we do. But that also gives our students work opportunities in a lot of different areas. We have 4 different areas that they work in. Recycling, environmental services, we have a construction department, and then we have community improvement services like power washing and graffiti removal and things like that.
So why those 4?
Well, we're a conservation course, so it's all outdoors.
Sure.
That's what we get grants to do. That's what we go after. And as a conservation corps, we're about helping our community.
Right, exactly. And, one of our frequent guests, we have the San Diego River Valley Conservancy on. We have, the living, coast folks down in South County. We love having environmental groups on here doing just 4 million great things. Do you work with them at all?
Yeah, we get a lot of state grants to help, and then when they get grants, they hire us to do the work. Yeah,
fix up the trails and all that business and so forth.
Oh yeah.
So when the students graduate, they get their degree. Okay, how many of them go on to college?
I would say about half.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Do they stay locally, or are they going somewhere else?
Yeah. A lot of them go to local community colleges to continue their career. I can think of some nursing, and there's different career paths that people go through.
Right. No, I think that's terrific. And so, do they live all throughout San Diego County, the folks that go through your program, or pretty much concentrated in San Diego?
So most of our students don't have cars, so they use public transportation. We were right by the Old Town Trolley Station.
I know exactly.
So most of them are coming from the south or from the east on the trolley.
Right, exactly. So, and we usually save this question for the second half of the interview. We'll ask that again. So are you looking for businesses that can offer opportunities for your students, or you've already got a whole lineup of businesses that pretty much work with you already?
I know we're always looking for great partners.
Right.
Recently we started working with like a Scripps Hospital. That's a great opportunity for our students.
Right.
A hospital has thousands of different jobs, from the landscaping to the food services.
Absolutely.
So we're always looking for great partners like that.
Yeah. So are they working at Scripps hospitals throughout the county, or pretty much close to where they are in Old Town?
No, yeah, it's throughout the county.
Throughout the county?
Yeah.
I'm a proud Scripps member, by the way, so I think that's great. So I will give a shout out when I go next time I see Chris Van Gorder. He's the CEO and does a great job at that aspect of it. Do you work at all with folks like the Workforce Partnership? And Workforce Partnership is laser beamed on what are going to be the careers, moving forward in San Diego. That might look like this in 2024, but in about 3 years, it's going to look different in 10 years. Do you work with groups like that?
Yeah, off and on. Yeah.
Right. So, and then with the community colleges, and are you working closely with San Diego City College, San Diego Mesa, that are close to Old Town?
Yeah, we in the past we've had actual college credit classes that we San Diego Community College teachers come to our campus,
right,
to do classes for our students, and they got college credit for it. Yeah.
Right. So when we come back from break, I want to chat a little bit more about what our listeners can do to support your efforts. Donations are always good for nonprofits and all that, or volunteering if that's an opportunity, or product, computers or whatever, and that aspect of it. Want to talk about some of your favorite stories about what you have seen over the 9 years you've been there, or 3 years you've been there. We always like to shout out those great stories. And then again, just a big wish list of what you folks would really like. Continue moving the program, and then be thinking about this at the short break we're going to have. Where are you guys going to be in 5 years? All right. When we return with Kyle Kennedy, CEO of Urban Core of San Diego County, joined by Teresa Leader-Anderson, his communications person. She's been there for 3 years. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union for more than 60 years. They've been doing great work living in San Diego County. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast, now in our 18th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union for more than 60 years, doing great things in San Diego County, joined by our friends from the Urban Core of San Diego County, Kyle Kennedy, CEO, and the head of communications, Teresa Leader-Anderson. We were just talking at break. Old Town is, a spot for you, but talk about what you've done up in Escondido.
Yeah, we probably about 3 years ago we bought a building up in Escondido. We know there's a need up in that area also.
Absolutely.
So it's right west of the 15, right on the Sprinter, on the Sprinter line, the first stop on that line. And that's just another. We provide all the same services we do in Old Town. We have school there. We send out crews from there. But yeah, we're always looking to expand that location.
Now, do you do any beautification at the schools, for that matter? Whether it's in Escondido Union or Escondido High School District or down in San Diego?
We do a lot of work with San Diego Unified.
Would you actually beautify some of their campuses?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that is a great opportunity. One of the things that we are very interested in Mission Fed, of course, and Cloudcast Media, we're laser beamed on career opportunities and where the careers are going. And, just because you may be interested in conservation, it could lead to a whole bunch of other tentacles in other areas you want to do. So do you talk about the different careers that can tie into conservation?
Yeah, most definitely. What we found, what at least I found, is a lot of our students that come to us, they don't know what's out there.
Right.
We were doing a lot of fire fuel reduction with the Viejas Fire Department, and so we had a one-day training with them, and the fire chief asked, "Who wants to be a fireman?" And when I was a kid, half the kids would have raised their hand.
Right.
Nobody raised their hand. I think one or two kind of raised their hand just out of pity for them. But that kind of opened my eyes. These kids have no idea what opportunities are out there. So that's a big part of what we do, is try to expose them to what's out there.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So, is there a waiting list to get into the program?
It depends on the time of year. Right now there is, but yeah, we do orientations, info sessions. We call them once a week, right. And so people can understand what they're signing up for, because it is a kind of a full-time commitment that you are committing to. So, if you have child care issues or, transfer, you got to figure that out, because you got to be there 5 days a week. You're making that commitment. And then, we're hiring year round.
So, Teresa, with those students and so forth, where do you find them? Where do they come from? Do they come from the school districts? Do they come from the community organizations? Both?
They come from all of the above. Yeah. A lot of times I get the emails in where people have heard about the program, and we, of course, ask them, where'd you hear about it? And they'll hear it on Instagram. They'll see it on the internet. They'll have heard from, a counselor at the school. They'll have heard from all over. A lot of times it's friends and family, because they had somebody else who was in the program and was successful. So they are coming to give it a try themselves. Right.
I love reading it in your notes here that one of the really cool stories you want to talk about is a student that was homeless that went through the program. Talk about that success story.
Well, yeah, we have, students that, they might not be homeless, but they're couch surfing. They just don't have a permanent place to live.
Right.
And this young man, that was his situation. He came to us at the time. We had a construction apprentice program, so he went through that, and that kind of fast tracked people who wanted to get into the unions. That's hard at times, but we had a program where he kind of got to the top of the list. So he went through that program, did great, applied for the Steelworkers Union. So he's doing all the rebar on the freeways and stuff. It's a really hard job, but, he got that job, got tons of overtime. And, he went from, not having a job at all to probably I think he made $80,000 that first year he was doing that. It changed the whole trajectory of his life, having a union job and, job security for a long time.
Now, did he have a family?
No, he was single guy.
Right. And so one of the things in these stories, he's a little bit different at that, but what you folks do, and it's not to tell you this, and what we love to highlight on the Spotlight show is it's not just the person that benefits from what you folks do, it's the family members as well. The cousins, the aunts, the uncles, the brothers and the sisters, and think about it. Now, here's this gentleman that's couch surfing and now all of a sudden is, making $80,000 a year. Most likely he's going to pass it on. He's a great role model, for what, you folks have done. And a lot of people, as you said, this is new to them, in this country and all that. That is terrific. is he going to be maybe an unofficial spokesperson for Urban Core? Can he be an unofficial spokesperson?
Yeah, I mean, we have lots of stories like that. And we do have lots of people, heads of families, they have kids. There's a lot of these students. They support their parents and their whole family.
Exactly. Now you turn their life around and so forth, and 1 + 1 equals 8 on this. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. Talking to our friends from Urban Core of San Diego County. Kyle Kennedy, CEO of the organization, and the marketing and communications outreach guru, so to speak, Teresa Leader-Anderson. I'll start with you on this, Teresa, and you can add to it, Kyle. So we talked a little bit about, what our listeners can do. So donations, volunteering, product, what can we do?
Definitely donations. We can always use more money. But a big thing with us is, like we were talking about, jobs.
Right.
If there's organizations out there that know that they have something, that they have some starter jobs, that's great, especially because we have graduation, which I encourage all of you to join us. They're every June and every December.
Nice.
And we were just talking about families. It's so uplifting because you'll see the whole family there. And sometimes this may be the first person to have graduated high school from their family. So they're all excited, and especially with all the different cultures from the refugees, you'll see some of them come in traditional dress. Some of them wear some things that are very different because it's part of their culture, and the family's all there. And it's so uplifting. But back to your question, we could really, we can always use partners who have starting jobs that when our core members graduate, in June and December, that we can refer them to those organizations for placement for a starting job, so they can go from Urban Core to start making their living and getting their life together.
How'd they get a hold of you?
Oh, they can look for us on the internet. We're on all the social platforms, so you can find us there. Urban Core, we're everywhere. They can call us. Give us a Google search, and you can find us on the internet. Just do Urban Core, and you'll find us.
That's good. Anything to add to that, Kyle?
We're always recruiting. We're always looking for good supervisors and new students, especially in Escondido. We're trying to grow that location. We have lots of contracts up in North County. I think we have probably eight crews that go to Carlsbad every day. We're all throughout the county. But we're definitely trying to grow our Escondido location. So if you're in the North County, a 18, 26-year-old who needs their high school diploma, please look us up.
Very good. Last question. Do you folks do any events to help raise money?
Go ahead, Teresa.
We haven't in the past done a whole lot of events.
They're labor intensive.
Yes, I mean, that's not. It's just the events that we do are more like tree planting events.
Okay.
So people could come out when we do tree planting, but most of the time, because like you mentioned, volunteering, it's hard because we have 200 core members, so we don't necessarily need a lot of volunteers to help us come out, and because that's what they're learning is how to plant the trees.
Yeah.
So right now we don't have a lot of events.
But if you do a tree planting, maybe what you can do is bring people out there and they can donate to that tree. And so for every tree that is planted, they can give $500. I'm making up numbers right now, obviously.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, exactly. Or whatever it is, for every square foot that we've got fix this trail up, we're going to contribute $5. I don't know, whatever the case may be. So maybe things like that, the general public can say, I want to support Urban Core. Okay, you guys did 100 square feet of whatever the case may be. I'm in for an X amount of money. My job is to create more work for people. And have I done a good job on that?
Yes.
That sounds great.
Yeah, good. Kyle, any final comments?
No, just I want to give a shout out to Mission Fed too. They've been a great partner for us. They come in and whenever we have a new batch of students, they come in and do financial education for our students. So I want to also give a shout out to Mission Fed too.
Yes, and they sponsor our graduations that we have twice a year. So we love Mission Fed. And then you guys helped us this last year with a grant that got first gave us a down payment for a Corps member to get a place to live. So that was awesome, really great.
Yeah, the great thing about Mission Fed, and because I'm like 2,000 years old and I've been working with them for quite a while, is the fact that they don't just do checkbook philanthropy. They're in the middle in there. They're probably even cleaning up some of the conservation stuff, because when they get their whole group behind it, the employees are in this aspect of it. And it's one of the things that they do so well. And that's great. And so well-deserved on that shout out. Well, Kyle and Teresa, wishing you nothing but great success. Here's an offer. Would love to have you folks come back on in a few months. Why don't you bring in one of your students? Okay, that can come in and chat about his or her experiences and what it has meant for him or her to be a part of Urban Core. How's that sound?
We love that. Yeah, we love promoting our students. We love, they always are the best communicators of what we do.
Good. We're going to make that happen over here. We'll work with Courtney and Catalina at the Mission Fed to make that happen. So let's plan on that somewhere down the road.
Great.
Very good. Kyle Kennedy, CEO of Urban Core of San Diego County, joined by Teresa Leader-Anderson, Marketing Communications Outreach. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast. Been around for 18 years. Thank you so much, Mission Fed Credit Union, 6 decades of continuing to do great things for San Diego County. We hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.